Well, thank you very much, Annelieke, for introducing me, and I'm happy to be with you all and telling you about our journey from the last 2 years, 2.5 years. We started as proeftuin voor transitieversnelling in Dutch, and you can say it in English like Living Lab for accelerating transitions. And I will take you from the start from 2023 in a journey. And we started with these people, with Remy Amand. Anouk is also here, Bram, myself, Ellie is also here. And we have also Albert Jan joined us. Lex is also here today. He's not on this screen, but nevertheless very important for the whole group. And Jacqueline also here. Jacqueline Hofstede is also part of the team. So I could not put everybody here, but they are not less important than the rest. And well, since January, we had a connection with Annelieke, and Annelieke took us with the vision of Joe Brewer and the Designschool about connecting with the rivers. And at first, I had to think about it because I did not feel connected with the river. And now I see and I really feel like they are a river. The rivers are veins of life, and this bioregion is for me a place where we, as the Netherlands, we lived from the river. So people, the Fries and the Vikings from Northern Europe, they traveled over the rivers to trade and to conquer. But also the rivers gave us life by making the soil fertile and give us water, because that's what we are made of. We are made of water ourselves. And this beautiful picture of the North Sea Delta and the North Sea rivers of the North Sea. We have in the Netherlands just this tiny place of this whole picture, but we feel part of it. So, well, let me start telling you about our journey. You can see here with the arrows, I made a nice timeline. And it started all into 2023. When Kees Klomp, the man you see here on the left, he was very depressed and he was feeling anxious because there was a lot of people in the Netherlands with the elections chose for the right and yeah, that are the political parties that are not working on the environment. And he was very depressed, and he, in a cry in despair, he made a WhatsApp group with 300 people, everybody he knew who's working on a better world. He added to this WhatsApp group, and we met a few times, and we came up with some what is needed. We felt what could we do. So, and in the same time, we organized an event. It was Driebergen Zeist in the Netherlands, however, doesn't.
Whatever.
And Jelleke de Nooy is also here on the left. She midwife of the new economy. And she wrote a book, Trailblazers. It's in Dutch voorlevers, with around 800 people who are working towards a new society. And she presented this book on this event. And from that, we were a movement. We said we were a movement of movements because there were a lot of different communities going and joining together. Um, and in the meantime, we were looking for what do we have to do with each other? What is the work we have to do? Because every movement in itself had its own purpose. What was our mission together? What was the point of working together? And what do we have to offer to the total group of all those people? What will accelerate the entire transition. So, thanks to Annelieke, of course, there were a lot of systemic constellations. We also had meetings, and we were looking for answers this way. And that was very insightful. We also learned that the people that are working or had joined us were looking for learning together, working together, and radical collaboration was one of the mottos we found working with. So, but bit by bit, there was a lot of growth, and I'm skipping all kinds of things, but. Finally, we are now with 600 people, but later more on that. I will first tell you what we thought of in the first year. We made with a few values and starting points for us to work with, to work from. And I will read them to you. One is from living in unity. Unity is very important for us, and contributing to each other's flourishing, human and nature alike. So humans, also people, our nature are also equally important to us. From connecting with a larger whole, embracing polarity, polyphony, diversity, and complexity. From shared inspiration and impulse, co-creating together. So that's the radical collaboration again, co-creating. And the shared inspiration is also very important. Remaining open to what wants to emerge. So that's partly the constellations facilitated by Annelieke, but also sensing while working in the daily life, being open to what is, not only following your own plans, but also continuously sensing in what's happening. And also including the entirely new, and that means we are not trying to do what we have always done, because as one of our one of our team members says always, if you want to solve a problem, you have to change the way you thought when you created it. So you have to think in different ways. The last one is seeking out the places of friction, because that is where the shine appears. And we had a lot of friction in the meantime. I will tell you more about it later, but if you avoid the friction, you have the risk of that it will grow. And if you face it and talk about it, then you come further and you get better connected, you understand each other better, and there is a different energy because you have worked through it. Well, the BLC North Sea Delta, as we made up these 4 bullets, it wasn't named that yet, but it still applies. It stands for our ability to learn. In this time, there are so many changes in the complex society where we are living. We hardly can keep up with it. Fortunately, we have AI, but what AI doesn't have is what we have, and we can sense and we can make a connection from heart to heart. And that is why how we can learn. We can connect to each other and connect to the earth and connect to what wants to emerge, as I said earlier. So that makes our ability to learn stronger. Now, the second, of course, regenerating the North Sea Delta. The rivers are so polluted we cannot swim in it. It's and you probably all know Leon Poa. She is also from drinkable rivers. So let's hope we can manage that. Raising awareness, and awareness in the broadest sense of the word. Awareness about feeling connected to the water, feeling connected to the earth, connected to each other, and also connected to ourselves. And the self-reliance of local communities. We also speak in Dutch about samenredzaamheid. So it's like together reliance, something. I don't know if I translated well. Correct me if I'm wrong. So that is what we are working for. You also speak about common up instead of bottom up. Common up because it's about the commons. We work together as a community. But I will not give you a lecture about commons because that's a different story. Okay, so the different perspectives, I also already told something about it. Sensing, like Theory U, I don't know if you know it, but this one of the steps in Theory U is sensing. And that for me is listening with my heart to what's happening in the WhatsApp groups, in the Signal groups, in the conversations, in what people write, articles that are being written, and the constellations by Bullet 4, that Annelieke and also Nicole van der Au, she is a colleague of Annelieke, facilitates. They gave us a lot of insights. All the tools we used were surveys. We have every meeting, we sent a survey to the participants. What are your desires? What are your needs? What do you need to strengthen your initiative? We also had a lot of interviews. We spoke to people. For example, in Ain Valley, where I live, I had last year I spoke to 100 people just in a few months to hear what people want and what they need. And everybody's working on a better world. It's super cool, but we do not always find each other. Well, we had the events. That's twice a year. We had an event with about 100 people. And communication is also a very important tool. I mean, the newsletter, the social media, just keeping connected or staying connected with the people that are involved, the people that are involved. So we also see the bioregional initiative emerging on a regional level. So on different places, there are initiatives and we try to empower them. We work together. So for example, I am working from the Eem Valley together with Nijmegen and Oosterhout, and we learn from each other. We have a community of practice. And we want to let it grow and add more regions. And already in this group, Jacqueline from Friesland and Ellie from The Hague are joining. So we have, it's now about 6 or 7 regions. And as I mentioned earlier, we have now 600 participants that are keeping up with our news and events and all that kind of things. Yeah. So after the first year, let's see if I don't forget anything. Oh yeah, this picture here. Do you see my cursor here? Okay, the arrow. Okay. This picture is about the lemniscate. It is a kind of 8 shape, and the top is the pentahelix. Pentahelix stands for we divided the society in 5 parties: the government, social, and organizations, companies, inhabitants, and science. Those 5. I will show a picture of it later. And in the bottom there are the support, the kinds of support we offer on a nation or bioregional level to all those regions working on collaboration in their regions. And that was a new model for us. And it was the moment we started to experiment with it. So what is it? Where do I stand? And we laid it on the floor. It's a kind of a systemic constellation. So people could stand in it and feel what's happening with them when they were standing there. And also it was a way of talking to each other about, well, I'm more about the support in uh, supporting in trauma from a region, or supporting in a financial way, or community support, or I'm a company, or I am from the government. So it was very insightful to stand around it and talk with each other about it. And that's one of the ways we work with models. So just put it on the floor and you can feel it. And that's the starting point where Oosterhout, Nijmegen, and Amersfoort started to work with this. And it's an integral approach. So we tried to make the different transition themes, build coalitions with those 5 parties. And so every region builds those coalitions to handle the problems and to solve the problems of this time with each other. And what we noticed is that not every theme we could participate every party from the pentahelix, because a civil servant working for a governmental organization of the highways, for example, couldn't join if it was about energy transition, because it is a different theme. So they couldn't answer to their managers if I'm collaborating with this, because so integral approach has its limits in the systemic world. Is systemic world a good word?
The system world.
System world. Okay, the system world. Okay. So we just noticed that was very difficult. So we had to come up with a solution, and the solution was we made not we just make coalitions per theme. So there was no meeting with all transition themes in at once. So it was all different, and in the last 2 years we worked in those places, working those local regional coalitions. Yeah, so you see here the pentahelix, It's a breaking rules in the system. We want to let them work together. And we see in practice that the different organizations are looking to work together. They're starting to work together, but not all the themes at once. Well, we had another meeting, another event. We had events twice a year, and this event was in Amersfoort. One of the events was in Amersfoort.
In Amersfoort, it was Boudewijn and in Wageningen,
Oh,
it
yes.
was the
Yeah, sure.
Active Hope theme.
Yeah, Active Hope was this was in the spring, and in the fall you had Active Hope. That is after that. So from the speech from Boudewijn Toorn, we connected Boudewijn Toorn. He is the founder of Herenboeren, and that's a concept of local farmers that give the people of that just a short chain of food supply. And he founded this in the Netherlands. So he was talking about, but he also talked about mycelium. And mycelium is a very important understanding for us because it's contributed to our understanding of rootedness. But I will tell you later about rootedness. And it was a seed being planted at that time. And from then we went to launching the proeftuin of de proeftuin voor transitieversnelling. And Annelieke, the event in the fall in 24, Annelieke facilitated about Active Hope. And that was a very important moment because Kees still was depressed. And because he has such a huge following, people also got depressed. And we wanted to give them hope. We go and perspective for action. And Annelieke did this in a wonderful way. So in this meeting of this event and whole day, we did all the steps of Macy. What was her first name again?
Joanna Macy.
Joanna Macy. Joanna Macy, all the steps of Joanna Macy. And it was a wonderful day. It was very special. Everybody there. At the end of the day, we were just sitting on the ground, holding hands, feeling okay with each other, and the energy was very special. I can't give it words because energy you can't give words. It's just not possible. You have to be there to feel it. But it was for us a very important step in the movement because it was for us a moment to go from complaining and worrying to action and to
Connection.
yeah, connection, especially connection. Yeah, yeah. That was very important. And in the same year, Jacqueline and Ellie, also here in this meeting today, they organized the ECG conference. And the ECG stands for Economy for the Common Good. What they did, it's my words, but they did it. They organized an international conference for the science, and the science wanted to get more in contact with the initiatives and the people working from the ground, bottom up. I say now coming up, but okay, then it was bottom up, and for them it was bottom up. So, and there was a lot of important scientists telling important. Well, it was a milestone because they have learned during this conference that they need the bottom-up movement. So they need to work together. And the coming out of the conference outcome was that we will uh, organize later on a follow-up, but with the bottom-up movement as key speakers and the scientists as key listeners. But that was just a seed at that moment. So we went from 224 to 225, and then Annelieke told us she found Designschool of Regenerating Earth. And with the seeds earlier from Boudewijn, from Kees, from Jelleke, from Annelieke herself, and all our own experiences, it was the right moment to connect to the theme of bioregional regeneration, because it felt at that time, just January this year, that was a logical step for us to take, because we had connected to each other thanks to Active Hope, and we were ready to take steps uh, to build in the Netherlands. That was our scope at that moment, on this transition. But we learned later on, we don't have to focus on the Netherlands, because that are borders invented by people, and we have watersheds and we have bioregions, but we had still to learn that. We weren't aware of that. Now we know, we are a member of the North Sea Delta, and all those rivers I just showed the picture earlier. I will go on with the picture. This is also still the picture of Active Hope, the four steps we went through with Annelieke. Oh, see, I forget a lot of things I have to tell, but I will go back and then I will go further. So we were, and I still remember the meeting in the spring this year in Amersfoort with Annelieke and some people of our team. And Annelieke showed us the picture of the North Sea Delta. I will go up and show it you, this one. And a few of people got tears in their eyes. They were really moved because they said, I don't feel Dutch. I feel a kind of Northern European, but that's not also the good word. And what is it what I feel? And this was the answer. This was the answer to their feelings, because they say, I feel connected with Germany, with Belgium, with England, with Scandinavia. But what is binds us together? And that is this. This is the rivers that all end up in the North Sea. And that was at that meeting, it was the moment that we realized that we got an even deeper connection. So I will go back to where I was. So we had also launched the proeftuin in November 24. And in this year, we designed or developed this model. And this model is a clover leaf. And this clover leaf is a way of looking at learning. Some people who have experience with learning probably recognize Kolp in this, but it is also a way of organizing our proeftuin, our living lab, but it's also a way of looking at learning, because everybody has this. It is not necessarily a cycle, but it's also a way of learning. So everybody has his own learning style. And the one for me, before, for example, I'm just doing something and then I find out that I have to do some research because I don't know what I'm doing. And then I will go to find this research. But some people are just first starting with reading and reading and reading, and then they will go to action. And that's also all okay. It's all just how we are as a person are built, of our how we learn. So in this model, everybody can join at the point where they are feeling good and what fits their learning needs. So,
Sandra,
hmm?
um, shall we do another 8 minutes max so that there is also space for questions?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I will just skip the rest of the cloverleaf leaf because that is too much detail.
Yeah.
And also, I already thought about this point, so we can go very fast.
No, it's okay.
Radical,
It's
yeah, and radical collaboration I already told you about, but you also want to show this picture to you. This is uh, there's a double loop, of two loop model, of double loop model. You said,
model. Yeah.
yeah, double loop model.
Two loop model.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because it is about these green dots. And this is the old system that is collapsing, and the new system is upcoming. And what we see is that the first pioneers was doing things just by themselves in alone. Then they started to work together, and now we are here. We see that all those networks are connecting, and we see the green dots are just working together and getting larger, larger, and larger, and larger. And even last Friday was a very special event. People said we are all totally green with just some white spots, where people still working in an old way. So let's hope we will get totally green. From there, also we had this summer. This led to an event this spring where Annelieke presented Bioregional regeneration to the whole community. And that was also a very special moment because we as a team had already experienced this, but we know where there were about 100 people we that joined us and learned also about this. So the movement got wider and wider. And this summer we had also some systemic constellations and meetings because we also had again a lot of questions how to proceed. And that brings us to today. And in the meantime, in the Aim Valley, we had a model because we already, I told you in the beginning of the presentation, you see this light blue theme.
Yeah.
And they all wanted to work with the inhabitants. So we have with University of Windesheim worked on a model and also with Anouk from Inclusion Lab, also here at the meeting, to make this yeah, working method to connect inhabitants to our coalitions. And not, it's especially what is very important is that we not do participation like the inhabitants can participate in the system world. No, it's the other way around. The system organizations can work with the inhabitants because they have to facilitate them. And so we are working from the community centers to join the inhabitants. And there are also some conditions, and I will tell another time about that if you are interested. But the conditions around it, that the supporters are the orange wheels that are supporting the whole system. So we are now trying to find funding to realize that, and the light blue wheels are already working. They are already in place. So I will skip this thing, I think.
Yeah.
I will skip this. But I want to tell you about Simone. It's very important for me because it was an answer because I hear a lot of that there is a movement very interested in indigenous people, and that's very good because we learn from them because we all forgot a lot of things. But I want to learn from the indigenous people from the Netherlands and from Europe. So one of the people that have made an important foundation for that is Simone Weil. And Simone is from the last century. She died in 1943. She escaped France for London because it was the Second World War. And she wrote a book, L'Enracinement, and that means rootedness. And it is a basic need for her. She said, and at that time we were not ready because after the Second World War we were building and economic growth was important. We wanted never have hunger again. We had to build up the economy. So there was no ear for this. But now we know we have exploited the earth. So we have to connect again. And this is an answer for us, I feel, because she said we have to connect again. We have to root as a verb. And that you do that by connect to your place, your area where you live. You connect with the community, the people around you. You connect with yourself and you connect with rituals. And rituals are also like a city festival or but how you when somebody dies you say goodbye, or how you celebrate spring or Christmas. That are rituals. So that is how you feel part of the community you are part of. And this is what we want to take with us when we are working in community centers or with the companies or with the government, no matter who, as a background model to work on the rootedness in our place. And finally, I will show you some pictures from the location we are located. We are finding shelter in Eemlandhoeve. You see on the right above, it's the farm. There are cows, there's Lakervelde cows, and they have large vegetable gardens, and it's for companies and people. And we have an office in here. You see here the picnic table. Behind that is our office. And in the right, there's also a chapel. It's not officially a chapel, it's a nature observatory because the city wouldn't allow it because, well, they say you have to pray in church and not on your farm. So, yeah, so he made it a nature observatory. But that's all on the place we are staying, and we are very grateful to be in there because it's an example of how we can work on a biological, ecological way. Yeah, preserving the earth. And that was it. That was my story. And I will stop sharing.